Has a relationship become complacent? Complacency is one of those sneaky little things that can creep into your relationship without you even realizing it sometimes. And it starts with very small shifts, skipping those nights, talking to each other, and then now suddenly you taking each other for granted, the excitement is gone, and before you know it, you are stuck in a rut. And you're wondering where did it go wrong? What happened? I don't understand what happened. And all of this actually takes over and causes deep problems in the relationship. Let's just try and break it down. Let's just see all the signs of complacency in a relationship. Routine has replaced the connection. Every relationship has routines, and that's not bad. But the issue is when your connection is replaced by repetitive habits, it's a warning. And instead of sharing your thoughts and your emotions and your experiences, you have a problem there. You are just going through the motions, grabbing a quick takeaway on the sofa instead of enjoying each other's company. Stop making efforts. Do you actually remember when you used to plan surprises or making the effort to look good for each other? When was the last time you went out of your way to make your partner feel absolutely special? And do you remember it or not? Do you actually, when you actually has actually settled and you are starting to see the problem, communication becomes very transactional. Conversations have actually stopped flowing naturally, and it might feel very dry and revolting you only to talk about logistics, who is doing this, who is doing that, and this deep, meaningful conversation you used to love just gone away. You don't talk about your dreams anymore. Lack of intimacy and affection. Oh, that physical attention that you want is the key of the emotional connection. And when you're not making the time for intimacy, not just for sex, but also for small gestures, just like holding hands and little touches, it can actually be a sign that you stop prioritizing each other, taking each other for granted. We're all busy. Our lives are busy, whatever city you live in. But when your partner becomes just another part of your routine, it's a problem. Complacency looks like you assuming that they're always going to be there, and no matter what they do, or all them little things that were important, then Saturday just becomes very. A lot of people wonder why complacency happens, and the thing it's very easy to fall into a state of complacency. And especially on long-term relationships, when you've been with someone for a while, they comfort you and they make you think that the relationship doesn't need the same level of attention, but that's not true. You got to keep that connection in a way, otherwise you become too busy. And life requires consistent effort. You make effort for your job and everything else, so why wouldn't you do it for your relationship? I know we all juggling millions of things, but we gotta make a change. Just like with anything, if you really care, especially on your relationship, needs to ongoing care and attention, and you need to stop complaining and seeing that there might be some resentment, and eventually things are going to break down. You can do something about it, and if you really want to save this relationship, you have to start to recognize that there is a lot of complacency. And I don't want you to panic on your relationship, but the good news is that it's not too late to turn things around. And this is how I think there can actually be an improvement on it. Number one, together you can fix anything. Acknowledge and sit down with your partner and have an honest conversation about how you both feeling. It is super important to approach this conversation with empathy. Don't blame anybody. They shouldn't blame you either. It's likely that you both contributed to the current state of the relationship. Number two, revive your connection, and you can be doing things like you did in the beginning. Remember those date nights, that cute little thing they used to do for each other, all the spontaneous moments, and those conversations that you had to bring up that sparkle and inject that excitement of romance into that relationship again. Remember that it doesn't have to be big gestures, but those little things are important, and sometimes that will make a big difference, and you know this. Number 3, prioritize communication. Healthy communication is the foundation. Make time for a real talk, and not just about daily tasks. You gotta listen to each other, and remember, talk about feelings and thoughts and hopes and fears, and be curious about what's going on in your partner's world. Stay connected, and this will help your emotional level. Number 4, reintroduce physical affection, whether it's holding hands or simply just being a little bit close to each other with that small emotional intimacy. You can actually see a difference, because making an effort is actually that simple and powerful way to keep that connection alive, okay? Number 5, make your partner feel totally appreciated on everything they do. Don't let the little things get unnoticed. Make a point on showing that gratitude and that appreciation for them. Compliments in the physical, in what they do for you, and remind them why you're so lucky to have them every single day in your life. Number 6, create new experiences together. How exciting going to new places is one of the quickest way as well, is to have a break. Let's just get away. Let's create more memories together. Try something new, something that you haven't done before, something that will be coming away from that TV show that you always watch. Maybe try a different podcast to listen to, or something that you can actually discuss. Get that excitement back, because you had it before. Complacency doesn't mean that your relationship is done, but it does mean that you need to put a little bit of work to revive that connection, and recognizing that it's the time to really communicate orally and put in a little bit of effort back in that relationship. You can resuscitate that spark and avoid letting that complaint and drive you apart. Remember that best relationships are not perfect, but building that constant care and the effort gives you that growth. So if you're noticing those signs of complacency, take action now and keep moving it forward, because your relationship is worth it, right? Otherwise, what's going to happen next?